Ladies and gentlemen, ARMY around the globe, and seekers of the ultimate musical spectacle, hold your breath because the moment we've all been waiting for is finally shimmering on the horizon of 2026. After years of anticipation, long-awaited reunions, and a world that felt just a little too quiet without their synchronized footsteps, the Kings are back. BTS is ready to reclaim their throne with a 2026 world tour that promises to be more than just a series of concerts. It's a cultural reset, a global healing, and a monumental homecoming all rolled into one. But as the Purple Ocean begins to ripple once again, a massive question hangs in the air, sparking debates from Seoul to London. Why is America, the land of the brave and the home of the Billboard charts, standing tall as the undisputed centerpiece of this comeback odyssey? Is it just about the massive stadiums? Or is there a deeper, more emotional thread weaving Bangtan back to the soil where they once handed out flyers on the streets of LA? What secrets do these American venues hold that make them the perfect stage for the next chapter of the most beautiful moment in life? Is it the lure of the Grammy stage finally being within reach? Or perhaps a strategic master plan to redefine what a global icon truly looks like in the post-service era? We are diving deep into the heart of the industry, dissecting the logistics, the legends, and the legacy to find out why the 2026 map is bleeding red, white, and blue. Get ready to explore the high-stakes world of stadium tours, the power of the US media machine, and the raw, unfiltered bond between BTS and their American fanbase that defies borders and language. This isn't just a tour, it's a takeover. Are you ready to see why America is the ultimate playground for the 2026 BTS revolution? Let's count down the reasons that will leave you questioning everything you thought you knew about the business of K-pop dominance. Number 7. The infrastructure of dreams. The Stadium Titans playground. The sheer scale of the 2026 World Tour requires a technical foundation that very few places on Earth can provide with the surgical precision and gargantuan capacity of the United States, making it the unavoidable cornerstone for BTS's return to the global stage. When you think about a BTS concert in 2026, you aren't just thinking about a stage and some lights. You are imagining a high-tech architectural marvel that involves hundreds of tons of equipment, moving LED screens the size of city blocks, and pyrotechnics that can be seen from space. And American NFL stadiums are the only venues designed to handle this level of Bangtan-sized insanity. We are talking about legendary coliseums like SoFi Stadium in Los Angeles, Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas, and the MetLife Stadium in New Jersey, venues that aren't just patches of grass, but hyper-modern tech hubs equipped with 5G connectivity for real-time fan interaction and massive hanging infinity screens that ensure even the fan in the very last row of the nosebleeds feels the sweat on RM's brow. Historically, the US has served as the ultimate testing ground for BTS's most ambitious production leaps. Remember the Rose Bowl in 2019 where they brought giant inflatable panthers to life? Or the 4-night residency at SoFi that literally revived the local economy of Inglewood? In 2026, the stakes are even higher because the group needs to prove that their absence only made their production value more lethal. These American stadiums offer a hub-and-spoke logistics model that allows HYBE to set up massive residencies, reducing the grueling travel fatigue for the members while maximizing the number of ARMY who can fly in from neighboring countries. There is a specific kind of electricity that hums through a 70,000-seat American bowl, a cavernous, booming acoustic environment that turns a simple fan chant into a roar that sounds like a literal earthquake. Moreover, the US market has perfected the concert as an experience model, where the stadium becomes a purple village filled with pop-up stores, themed hotels, and light show spectacles that extend far beyond the 3-hour set list. Could BTS achieve this elsewhere? Perhaps. But nowhere else offers the sheer density of super stadiums that allow for the kind of multi-day takeover that has become the signature of the BTS brand. As we look at the 2026 itinerary, it's clear that the choice of America is a strategic flex of technological dominance, a way to say that the biggest artists in the world require the biggest stages on the planet to contain their energy. It's about the seamless integration of art and engineering, where the stadium itself becomes a member of the performance. But is it just about the size of the building, or is there something more profitable hiding behind those massive ticket sales? What if the reason is less about the concrete and more about the gold that waits at the end of the tour? Are you ready to find out how the American economy bows down to the Purple Ocean? Number 6. The economic powerhouse. The billboard and revenue kingmaker. When we talk about the 2026 World Tour, we aren't just talking about music. We are talking about a fiscal phenomenon that can shift the GDP of entire cities. And the United States stands as the ultimate vault, where BTS can solidify their status as the highest-grossing touring act in history. You have to understand that the American music market isn't just a piece of the pie. It is the oven, the baker, and the entire kitchen. After the members' hiatus, the financial stakes for HYBE and the BTS brand are astronomical, and a massive US leg is the most efficient way to generate the billions of dollars needed to fund their next decade of global dominance. The sheer purchasing power of the American Army is legendary. We're talking about a fan base that doesn't just buy a ticket. They buy the flight, the 5-star hotel, the limited edition 2026 light stick, and every single piece of merchandise from the Born Singer collection. Statistics show that a single BTS residency in a city like Las Vegas or Chicago can generate more local revenue than a Super Bowl. And in 2026, the US remains the only territory where the synergy between high ticket prices and massive volume creates a profit margin that is simply unbeatable. But it goes deeper than just the bank account. It's about the Billboard charts, which remain the holy grail of musical validation. A tour in the US triggers a massive surge in local streaming, radio airplay, and physical album sales that are tracked directly by Luminate, ensuring that when BTS hits the stage in Dallas or Atlanta, they aren't just performing. They are campaigning for that #1 spot on the Billboard 200 and the Hot 100. The American leg acts as a giant megaphone that broadcasts their success to the rest of the world. If you sell out a stadium in Europe, it's a headline. But if you sell out 10 stadiums in America, you are a global, untouchable legend. Reflecting on their journey, remember how Dynamite and Butter were fueled by this American momentum? In 2026, the strategy is even more refined. By focusing on the US, BTS taps into a mature infrastructure of event tourism where brands like McDonald's, Google, and Samsung are lining up to sponsor every square inch of the tour, creating a multi-layered revenue stream that is impossible to replicate at this scale in any other region. There's also the halo effect, the phenomenon where their presence in the US media capital boosts their stock price on the Kospi back in Seoul, making every dance move on a stage in California worth millions to investors worldwide. It's a cold, hard fact. To be the biggest, you have to win the richest market. And in 2026, the US is the golden goose that will lay the eggs for BTS's entire future. But is this move purely about the money? Or is there a lingering ghost of a dream that still hasn't been fully realized? Could there be a gold-plated trophy that they are still chasing in the heart of Los Angeles? Stay tuned, because the next reason takes us from the wallet straight to the trophy cabinet. Number 5. The unfinished business. Chasing the golden gramophone legacy. Let's be real. Let's get emotional. And let's talk about that one empty spot on the BTS trophy shelf that still haunts every ARMY's dreams, the Grammy Award. Entering 2026, the United States isn't just a tour stop. It is the battlefield for a legacy-defining mission to finally conquer the Recording Academy. You can feel the tension in the air, can't you? Despite their record-breaking streaks, their multiple nominations, and those breathtaking performances that left the Staples Center and MGM Grand in awe, the big three categories have remained an elusive fortress. By centering their 2026 World Tour in America, BTS is strategically positioning themselves right under the noses of the industry voters during the peak of the awards season. This isn't just about playing music. It's about presence. It's about visibility. And it's about a relentless FYC, for your consideration, campaign that only happens when you are physically occupying the American cultural zeitgeist. Think back to the Permission to Dance era. The buzz was deafening, but the timing of the world's shutdown created a barrier. Now, in 2026, with the members back in full force and a discography that has matured through their individual chapters, the narrative of The Return of the Kings is a story that the American media and the Recording Academy simply cannot ignore. Every stadium show in a major voting hub like Los Angeles, New York, or Nashville serves as a live demonstration of their peerless artistry, proving to the skeptics that BTS isn't a K-pop phenomenon, but a global musical powerhouse that defines the modern era. There is a raw, burning desire within the fandom and, arguably, within the members themselves to break that final glass ceiling, not because they need the validation to be great, but because they deserve the recognition for the history they've already written. By touring extensively across the US, they are fostering direct engagement with the American music industry's elite, the producers, and the fellow artists who participate in the voting process. It's about building a narrative of the unstoppable comeback. Every sold-out night is a reminder to the Academy that the world has already voted with their hearts and their wallets. Can you imagine the sheer, explosive emotion of a 2026 Grammy win off the back of a triumphant US tour? It would be the ultimate "I told you so" to every critic who ever doubted their longevity. But wait, while the glitz of the trophies is blinding, is there an even deeper, more personal reason why they keep returning to the West? Could it be that the very streets of America hold the memories of their humblest beginnings, making every 2026 stadium show a full-circle moment of healing? Number 4. The Full Circle Odyssey. From flyers on Sunset Strip to stadium immortality. To understand why America is the beating heart of the 2026 World Tour, we have to look back at the scars and the sweat of 2014, back when 7 young boys with big dreams and baggy clothes were literally walking the streets of Los Angeles, handing out flyers to strangers for a free concert at the Troubadour. That raw, gritty origin story is etched into the DNA of BTS and returning to the US. In 2026 is an act of emotional reclamation, a way to show the world, and themselves, just how far the Bulletproof Boys have traveled. There is a profound, almost cinematic poetry in performing at a sold-out Rose Bowl or SoFi Stadium, when you remember that their first taste of the American dream was filmed in a small rented house for American Hustle Life. This isn't just a tour, it's a victory lap for the ages. Every time Namjoon speaks in English to a crowd of 70,000 inches New York, he isn't just communicating, he's bridging the gap between that nervous teenager who learned English from friends and the global statesman who addressed the United Nations. For the members, America represents the Wild West they successfully tamed, the place where they were first called outsiders, only to end up as the ultimate insiders. The 2026 tour serves as a living documentary of their growth, where every city holds a memory: the first Billboard Music Award in Vegas, the first SNL performance in Rockefeller Center, the historic UN speech in NYC. By choosing the US as their primary playground, they are inviting ARMY to witness a full-circle moment that is rare in the music industry. It's an emotional anchor for the fans who have been there since the Red Bullet days, watching them go from tiny theaters to massive arenas, and finally to the architectural titans of the NFL. There's a specific kind of nostalgia that hits differently on American soil. It's the place where the Western breakthrough became a reality, breaking the myth that Asian artists couldn't dominate the American mainstream. In 2026, as they stand on those massive stages, the air will be thick with the ghosts of their past selves, the boys who were hungry, misunderstood, and determined. This tour is their way of saying, "We made it." Not to the critics, but to the versions of themselves that once sat on a curb in LA, wondering if anyone would ever show up to their show. It's about healing the struggles of the past with the glory of the present. But as we reflect on this emotional journey, we have to ask, is it just about the past? Or is there a massive, unprecedented media machine waiting to propel them into a future we can't even imagine yet? What happens when the world's biggest band meets the world's most powerful publicity engine in the year 2026? Number 3. The media megaphone. Dominating the global narrative from the center of the universe. If you want to tell a story that the entire planet hears at the exact same volume, you don't just whisper it, you scream it from the rooftops of Manhattan and the hills of Hollywood. And in 2026, the American media machine is the only engine powerful enough to broadcast the BTS reunion with the intensity it deserves. Think about it, when BTS lands on American soil, the entire global news cycle shifts its axis. We aren't just talking about a few tweets. We're talking about a coordinated blitz of late-night talk shows, morning news programs, and digital covers that flood every screen from Seoul to Sao Paulo. By making America the centerpiece of the 2026 tour, HYBE is leveraging the most sophisticated PR apparatus in existence to ensure that the return of BTS isn't just a music event, but a historical milestone. Imagine the impact of a high-profile carpool karaoke comeback, or a takeover of The Tonight Show in the middle of a stadium run. These moments become viral gold that transcends the fandom and penetrates the general public's consciousness. The US is the world's biggest content factory, and every performance in a city like Los Angeles or New York acts as a localized production set for high-definition concert films, documentaries, and behind-the-scenes content that will be streamed by millions on platforms like Disney Plus or Netflix. There is a specific kind of prestige that comes with being a constant fixture in American media. It signals to the world that you are still the gold standard of global pop culture. Furthermore, the 2026 tour in the US Prate allows for strategic collaborations with American icons, both musical and digital, creating crossover moments that keep the group at the top of the algorithmic food chain. Every interview with an American journalist, every viral TikTok filmed backstage at an NFL stadium, and every billboard in Times Square serves as a brick in the fortress of their 2026 legacy. The US media landscape also offers a level of paparazzi and fan cam culture that, while intense, generates a constant stream of real-life footage that keeps the Army's thirst for content quenched 24/7. It's about being omnipresent. In 2026, the goal is to make it impossible to look at a screen without seeing the faces of the 7 members, and there is no better place to achieve that total saturation than the media capital of the world. But while the cameras are rolling and the headlines are screaming, there is an even more powerful, invisible force at play. Have you ever wondered about the sheer, unadulterated power of the American Purple Ocean? Is it possible that the fans themselves are the real reason the US is the ultimate destination? Number 2, the melting pot of ARMY, the global heartbeat of diversity and devotion. When we talk about the American leg of the 2026 tour, we aren't just talking about a single country. We are talking about a microscopic version of the entire world gathered in one place, creating a purple ocean so diverse and so loud that it resonates across every ocean. The United States is home to one of the most multicultural, multi-generational, and fiercely loyal segments of the Army, making it the perfect stage for BTS to witness the global impact of their message in real time. In a single stadium in Chicago or New York, you will find fans who have flown in from Canada, Mexico, Brazil, and even across the Atlantic, because the US acts as a central pilgrimage site for the international fandom. This isn't just about localized support, it's about the sheer variety of voices that rise up in unison during the Kim Namjoon, Kim Seokjin fan chant. In 2026, after years of solo projects and military service, the members need to feel that their universal language of music hasn't lost its touch. And there is no better proof than looking out into an American crowd and seeing every race, age, and background represented under one roof. The American Army is famous for their project culture, those breathtaking moments where they coordinate thousands of light sticks to create rainbows or messages of love that leave the members in tears. This emotional feedback loop is vital for BTS's 2026 momentum. It's the fuel that keeps their grueling choreography sharp and their smiles genuine. Think about the Purple Ribbon Project, or the massive charity drives organized by US-based fan bases. These aren't just fans, they are a mobilized force of nature that treats every concert like a sacred reunion. By choosing America, BTS is returning to a base that has defended them through every xenophobic remark and every industry hurdle, creating an atmosphere of safety and mutual respect that is palpable from the first note to the final bow. There's a raw, unfiltered energy in an American crowd. A culture of standing up, dancing in the aisles, and screaming until your lungs give out that provides an adrenaline boost unlike any other region. For the members, seeing this level of unwavering devotion in a land so far from their home is the ultimate validation of their love yourself philosophy. It's a reminder that their art has transcended the borders of South Korea and become a permanent part of the global human experience. But as we reach the pinnacle of our countdown, we have to look past the fans, the money, and the media. What is the single most important, most revolutionary reason why America is the alpha and omega of the 2026 World Tour? Could it be a transformation that changes the very definition of BTS forever? Number 1. The global throne reclaimed. The definitive statement of cultural supremacy. This is it, the ultimate reason. The peak of the mountain, and the moment where history is rewritten in purple ink. America is the choice because in 2026, BTS isn't just returning to the stage, they are returning to claim their permanent seat as the emperors of the global pop era. You have to realize that in the fast-moving world of music, a 2-year hiatus is usually a death sentence. But by launching a massive, high-stakes takeover of the United States, BTS is making a definitive, aggressive statement that their prime hasn't even begun. This is about global standard validation. The US's music market is the most competitive, brutal, and crowded arena on the planet. And by dominating it once again in 2026, BTS proves that they are not a trend, not a wave, and certainly not a phase. They are a permanent shift in the tectonic plates of human culture. This tour is the Great Reset, where they move beyond the title of K-pop group and solidify themselves as a global institution, much like the Beatles or Queen, whose legacy was cemented by their absolute conquest of the American psyche. The 2026 tour is designed to show that the members have returned from their service not just as idols, but as men with a new, mature authority, capable of commanding the world's most influential stage with more power than ever before. Every stadium they sell out in the US is a message to the entire industry. The Kings are back, and the throne was never empty because no one else could fit it. It's a psychological victory. By winning in America, you win everywhere. The ripple effect of a successful 2026 US tour dictates the airplay in Europe, the streaming trends in Southeast Asia, and the festival headlines in South America. Reflecting on this, think about the gravity of 7 Korean men leading the largest cultural movement in the heart of the West. It is a revolutionary act of soft power that has changed how the world perceives Asian identity forever. In 2026, the American tour is the final proof that BTS has achieved immortality. They aren't just chasing hits anymore. They are defining the era. When the final firework explodes over a stadium in Los Angeles or New York at the end of the 2026 tour, it won't just signify the end of a concert. It will signify the beginning of the Bangtan Forever era, where their influence is woven into the very fabric of global history. This is why America is the only choice. It is the biggest stage for the biggest comeback in the history of music. A moment where the world stops to watch 7 legends reclaim their destiny. We've seen the reasons, we've felt the emotion, and now we know why the US is the purple epicenter of 2026. The only question left is, are you ready to be part of the history that's about to be made?